Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another super big Sunday live stream. This is a little different than our normal live streams. There's no grand theme to this. It's not fitting into our four categories of guns of war, sabers and saddlebags, boots and belts and boot buckles and belts, and gods and generals. No, this is a sort of build and chat, rather than a bit of painting. Something a little bit different. Hello everyone in the chat already. We've found loads of people already. Blimey. Thomas, hello. Tim, hello. Mark, hello. Michael, General Michael, that is. Hello. Alex, hello. David, hello. I think we've got everyone. Hello, welcome. Welcome to a Sunday night. I hope you've all been well since the last time we spoke. A week ago to the minute. And also, yeah, I hope you've all had a good week. And as always, let me know what you've been working on. We've got our social media community pages if you want to chuck anything on there. We've got YouTube and Facebook. And I'll plug again at Facebook. Our main Facebook account, if we can get it to 100 followers, we can do live streams on there as well, which is going to be our little goal. So that's where we're at with it. Talos Miniatures, hello, welcome. Welcome in. I'm right in thinking Talos Miniatures are the chaps that have sculpted Rebellion Miniatures. Am I right in thinking that? Without having to dig through an old Discord chat. I'm gonna guess it is. Anyway, yeah, if we get that Facebook thing, that'd be cool. And we do live streams on there. I'm gonna say a massive thank you to Rebellion Miniatures for sending me these lovely sculpts and stuff like that. We've painted a couple of them. You can't really see that, but we've painted a couple last couple of streams. And yeah, we're going to do a whole regiment of them. It was Talos Miniatures. Talos Miniatures are the very talented artists that sculpted these lovely miniatures. So if you want anyone to thank, they're in the chat. So thank you, and also thank you for stopping by. That's awesome. If we have any questions, we've got an expert. We've got the sculptor here, which is wonderful. Right, there's the. Have I said everything I need to say? Yeah, so we're going to be building up some Rebellion Miniatures, essentially, because we're going to look at building the 26th North Carolina to go along with our Colonel we've just painted. And we're going to use these Ragged Rebs from the Rebellion Miniatures range. Or Ragged Rebs range. Right. Let's catch up with the chat. So I've said hello to everyone. What are we up to? Thomas, been going between some Napoleons and American Civil War, currently painting up some Rebellion Miniatures, Ragged Rebs, and Perry Union Cavalry. Bingo, Thomas, you're in. You are on the Ragged Reb hype train, which we are also on. When I get to the camera, I'll show what I'm doing. But so I did a video. Obviously, we were sent some miniatures from Ragged Rebs, from Rebellion Miniatures. Their Ragged Reb range. We were sent them and we did like a little video on them. They have in between then and now, they've sent me some more miniatures. So we got a few more packs as well as the new heads. They've done like a new set of head sculpts, so we've got them as well. So yeah, we're just going to build them up as a regiment, as well as my trusted Harry Miniatures bits box. Because, as advertised, these Rebellion Miniatures are designed to work with Perry Miniatures. So we're going to do a bit of both. Right. Tim says, hey, everyone. General Michael for the Americans in the chat. Happy 250th anniversary. Absolutely. Happy anniversary, guys. I was going to say something witty, but... I'm sure you don't miss us. It's been 250 years. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, gang, says Mark. That's very good. It's probably something I should include in my intro. But yes, of course, please do like and share what you can. Something else I've missed as well is, because I got caught up in all the rush of it all, is thank you to everyone watching this live. I know we've already said hello to a few of you, but everyone watching this back on YouTube as well, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Tim says, I'm not American, but I'll take that on behalf of my family. Cheers. Talos said hello. Tonight, David is working on 340 Austrians and getting their hair done. Different colours, of course. Then 39 horses to get base colours done. Oh, you're a stronger man than I, David. Austrians are going to the barber shop. That's a lot of haircuts. Are they Napoleonic Austrians? Asks General Michael. I'm going to assume so because David loves their Austrians, and I'm not sure what else do the Austrians get involved in. Probably. Thomas complimenting Talos on their lovely sculpting jobs on these miniatures. Absolutely. General Michael as well. So David's gone for the Austrians of the First Coalition, which is 1796, because they're doing 1796 project at the moment. All right, I think I'm doing that. Tim's come in as well. I'm loving painting these Rebellion miniatures. Lots of praise. Talos says, I don't consider myself an expert, but thank you. Well, you've done a fantastic job, Talos. So you're an expert in our book so far, which is something. I don't know how valuable. It's extremely. It's something. We think you're great. So, and please carry on doing more. I hope the chaps at Rebellion Miniatures have got a lot lined up for you. Fingers crossed. Because I'd like to see more from this range. General Michael, I've completed almost all my projects. I'm currently doing some miniatures for a specific war game. What war game are you looking at, General Michael? And Mark says, I'll say it. Happy anniversary. You're welcome back whenever you're ready. Says Mark. He doesn't speak for all of us when he says you're welcome back whenever you're ready. I'm sure there's a few of you we would love to have back, but I don't know. Right, let's maybe. Oh, our cameras stopped working, like it likes to do occasionally. Bingo, the messy table, soon to be messier. Talos, how are you guys dealing with the heat? It's we're down here and it's doing that this week. It's going up. So we've had a couple of really hot weeks, and then it's kind of been chill for about a week and a bit, and now it's going to get hot again. 34 degrees, I think, come Friday. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Obviously, my games emporium, the laboratory, or the office is in a loft with lack of ventilation, so it gets very hot up here. So as soon as the heat gets going, so a couple of weeks ago when we had it really hot, luckily my internet cacked out on me and I couldn't live stream, but I was so hot that night I wouldn't have been comfortable doing the live stream anyway. So yeah, I just kind of don't go in the loft when it gets too hot. All right, I forgot, we're looking at the table now. So yeah, like I was saying last time, we got these chaps. These Colonel Burgwin himself, the boy colonel of the 26th North Carolina, mortally wounded at Gettysburg. And then another mortally wounded Gettysburg chap, again from Rebellion Miniatures, but Strong Vincent. This is. He's not the man of the hour this time. It's this guy, and we're going to get his regiment sorted out. So, let me. That. So, 26th North Carolina. Who were they? Where were they? They were from North Carolina. They were the 26th Regiment. It's in the name. And just looking at a quick sort of Wikipedia, which I know is probably the most okay information out there. There's better stuff. But they were formed in May 1861, so nice and early in the war. Or the first company was Company A. They're called the Jeff Davis Mountaineers. That's cool. Old Jefferson Davis. So yeah, they were around early in the war. Fought in a lot of big battles by the looks of it. They were. Let me have a look. The Battle of Newbern, 7 Days battles, Battle of Oak Grove, Battle of Malvern Hill. Obviously Gettysburg. Bristow. They were at the Bristow Station. The Bristow campaign, Battle of Bristow Station. I know the Bristow Station because I've done it on the on a game I used to play on computer. Spotsylvania Courthouse, Wilderness. They're at the big ones. Let's just say that. And I think am I right? I think at Gettysburg they were one of the biggest Confederate regiments, and they went toe to toe with the Iron Brigade and had a bit of a fight. So, Ragged Rebs. I want to get these out without breaking them. Although from memory, the resin's really good quality resin, so I'm not worried about breaking them. Right, David's working on chestnut horses at the moment. Tom's been considering. Sorry, I'm so tired. I had a massive lie-in today as well, and I'm still really tired. I don't know what that's about. And maybe the heat. I ate a lot. I had a barbecue earlier. Ate a lot. Had a bit of food, and I'm tired in the sun. Thomas been considering changing my American Civil War units from 24 minis to 36, just like your Napoleonics. Nothing's stopping you, Thomas. Nothing's stopping you. I've always shied away with the 36-man units because I feel like as soon as you start looking at trying to game with them, they just sit on such a larger profile. So maybe like using 36-man units to represent a large unit is something I might look at doing. Talos is currently got the life support on brackets aircon. My current project of this year is to get air conditioning up in the loft, so that'll be something we may see. Although I imagine by the time I've saved up my money to get it, it'll be winter, so I won't need it. Thomas, well, I think our next game night will be cancelled for an evening in the beer garden. Oh, is that an upgrade rather than a downgrade? I think it could be an upgrade, couldn't it? Nice work. General Michael, I'm making Coastal American Civil War Confederate fort out of wood and stone for a fort war game. I'm going to have a fort on the land and artillery ships in the water. That's very cool. I've been looking at doing a fort for a long old time. Just never got round to it. I bought all the foam. I've got all the foam. I'm going to do it out of expanded foam. Kingsman. Just haven't got there yet. Very nice though, General Michael. Basically, it's Confederates defending the fort against artillery bombardments and naval and ground Union troops. A bit like Fort Wagner. I need to paint some coastal artillery guns and some Union Marines and some more artillerymen. Very nice. David, North Carolina, Tar Heels. Am I right in thinking they call it the Tar Heel State or something like that? Oh, they're a football team. That's why. I wonder why they call them Tar Heel, though. Oh. Because what? Anyway. Cool. General Michael, I had 4 relatives who were in this 26th. 2 were privates, 1 was a sergeant major, and 1 was a captain. I still have one of the guns from the private. It's an 1862 Richmond rifle. That's very cool. That's some cool family history there. Talos, well, I live in Greece, so the only room that doesn't have air conditioning is the bathroom. Maybe I should install one there too. It's going that way, isn't it? I know Greece is completely different to the UK, but right, I've all got a bit. I'm not sure what we're doing here. Right, so Ragged Rebs, we have so we've got a couple of the normal packs, which comes with the sets of arms and heads. I don't know if you can see that. this other pack. So those chaps. Then we've got another pack. So these are actually using a different resin. I'm not sure why. But I mean, these were just, they just gave me a booster, just a pack like this with just some soldiers in there. And then I got the pack of heads in the original. So this is the new sets of heads. So we've sort of got some officers' heads here, where they've got the braiding on the hats. Same again here, some more officer heads with braiding on the hats, and you've got like an injured guy there, or 2 injured guys there. So that's a nice little selection of hats, or heads. And then we got the caps, Mexican, American, and Mexican War hats, which I can't remember what they officially called again, but they're very nice. And big beards on it. And then some bear heads as well, which is interesting. Got some bear heads, so nice. Yeah, so I'm sort of limited on what sort of guns I've got, but again, that's where the Perrys come in. And that's where I'm going to be using some Perry arms, because I want to do marching, sort of, not quick march, but you know. Well, no, it is a quick march, poses. So I'm going to be using the Perrys for that. Tar Heel is the unofficial state nickname for the North Carolinians. Yeah, I thought it was when you said it at the start. Tar Heel State. I thought I heard it before. And also, yeah, their athletic teams tend to be called it as well, according to Google. Using the Ragged Rebs as some new men for the 6th Louisiana. One mini the folks at Rebellion should consider making is another boy colonel, Henry B. Strong, killed at Antietam riding his white horse. Besides the Fort War game, where I'm just says General Michael, doing a Fort game, you're going to be doing some specialty ace troops like the Zouaves and the Pennsylvania Bucktails and Militia. Also, some casualty markers and generals. Very nice, Michael. Yeah, Thomas, going back to the requesting, I know I've mentioned it in the past to Matt over at Rebellion about sort of some what stuff they could do, and they were very open to recommendations, so you should send them a message. I think if you give them a bit of backstory to it, sort of give your suggestions, say why you think it's a cool one, I think they would be interested. Again, I think a lot of this is, at the moment, they're looking at Gettysburg. That's the only thing, but can ask him. David says they were called Tar Heels because they were the world's biggest producers of naval stores, including pitch. Now, there you go. Tar Heel State. So, I'm just peeling them off. So they actually print them on this little stand here. Do you know what? One thing I really like about the Ragged Rebs, what they've done here, is they've sculpted them on this little base. And why that's a good idea, in my opinion, is when, for example, I was going to use Studio Historia because they're another company with 3D prints that I use, but I'll use actually Ragged Rebs, Rebellion Miniatures, Strong Vincent. He doesn't come on one of these bases, and when it comes to painting him, I've just super glued him on this big base just for ease of painting. But I'd be worried that when I go to remove him off this base, I might damage him. You know, like snap a foot off, which I've done on the Studio Historia stuff so many times, where I snap a leg trying to get him off. Whereas I feel like having them on this pill base, you can get some pliers underneath it a bit easier to peel it off, And even just sticking it on a base. When you stick these on the base, I can use just my normal glue when sticking these ones on with the big bases. Whereas if it's an individual foot, for example, I tend to find I've got to try use super glue with it, and sometimes that just doesn't. It just won't glue, and the amount especially again with this Studio Story stuff, I use Studio Story as an example because it's something I'm experienced with. Like I've spent ages before trying to stick someone's where the contact point to the base, or where the base would be, is so small because it's just sort of a heel of a foot because of the way it's posed and then marching. It makes them a nightmare to glue them down. So I really like these being included in the sculpts. So kudos to Rebellion for that. It was if I could have chosen someone doing it, it would have been this way. Yeah, these are. I know I've done a big video on these, and I've kind of had a look around them, but yeah, they are awesome sculpts. This guy's barefoot. This guy's actually got boots on, so he's alright, but he's got a patch on the leg. They're going to be enjoyable to paint, I'm sure. General Mug said, I did a very nice war game for the 250th anniversary. It was a Bunker Hill war game. Cool. Was that the turning point in the war, do you reckon, Bunker Hill? And those dastardly Yanks finally stood up to us. He was the British general. Howe? Was it Howe? Yeah. Did he throw it away? That's the question. Could he have done better? So these come sort of pretty well cleaned up, really. I've just noticed around the feet there's just a couple of supports, mini supports there, so I'm just cutting them off. This is the guy with the boot split open. His toes poking out the front of the boot. Is that the same skull? No, it's not. It's different. Thomas says, I did ask him if they would consider making General Mahar for a figure. They did say they were focused on Gettysburg, but never say never. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they from my interactions with the company, Rebellion Miniatures, yeah, I think they're not against anything. I think if they could, they would do every miniature. I think they're just picking and choosing. Obviously, there's costs behind it all. I'd like to think they're doing well at the moment, but to sculpt a miniature costs money. Talos Miniatures would know because they're the ones paid to sculpt it. Not saying they'll tell us how much, but I'm just saying that yeah, there is an expense to it. You know, so I think you'd want to make miniatures that you know would sell well. I mean, I'm saying that, and I know Mahar would sell well because he's a very iconic character, but they've obviously got their business plans. Yeah, we might see it though in the future. It'd be cool. What I would like to see is maybe them opening up custom commissions through through Rebellion Miniatures, where we could maybe have a chat with them, invest in that, and then they'll make sure it's produced. That would be quite cool. But again, you've got the costs on the sculpts themselves. Again, a good sculpt is not cheap. And then they've got to produce them as well. So, which I think Talos Miniatures has just answered that. Yeah, so production run is a big factor, it says Talos Miniatures. Exactly. You've got to find a company to produce them and then produce them, and knowing how much you want to produce, because you need to sell it. Again, like, they could produce a load of these miniatures and then not just struggle to sell them, or produce a load of these, like produce way too many miniatures for one go and then find they've sort of got to wait to sell a load before they can really reinvest in the company. So Jeremy Michael says it's based off the war game that Little Wars TV did. It was very fun. This is the Bunker Hill battle. Yeah, I watched it. I'm a big fan of Little Wars TV, if I'm honest. Big fan. Jeremy Michael, not necessarily, but it was one of the first big battles. We almost won it. The old Brits took more casualties than us. Yeah, so that was in response to me saying, was that the turning point in the war? I think it was the point when I think maybe the British realised that the Americans could put up quite a good fight. David, at Gettysburg, in the huge 28 minis, Wade Hampton has got to be worth a look. He was a rich dude who liked to hunt bear alone, armed with only a knife, a Confederate cavalry brigadier, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think where he would have been rank-wise come Gettysburg. Because again, Wade Hampton started off as a, I guess you could say, regimental command. He had his legion, the Hampton's Legion, which had artillery, infantry, and cavalry in it at the Battle of First Bull Run. But yeah, he worked his way up the ranks, didn't he? I don't know if he got to division or corps. He might have done. I can never remember. But yeah, so General Michael says he was the commander of Hampton Legion, which Hampton's Legion was at Gettysburg. Yeah, but I think he was commanding above that by then. Talos, if you include shipping and packaging costs are added. Yeah, absolutely, Talos. But I think shipping and stuff and packaging is one of those forgotten costings. Ooh. So I'm just going to have a look at this dark grey material. So Rebellion Miniatures, I haven't actually said about it yet. Here we've got Buford and his staff in a bag. And at the same time, he sent me some more miniatures. One of them being these dark grey infantry, which are printed in a different material to the original stuff. And I don't know whether they just had these lying around and they thought they'd send them to me, or what. They're as good quality sculpts, 100%, but the material seems a lot different. I should have probably messaged Matt at Rebellion, because he messaged me saying that he was sending these miniatures over, and it was a weekend I was going away. I do like 4 times a year, so I was going away on one of those weekends, and I think they came in the post on the Thursday, and I was heading out on the Thursday. So they literally arrived as I left. So I never really got to talk to him properly about what was in the package. And then it's just sort of slipped my mind, and there we go. So yeah, I just I'm not sure why he sent these. I mean, I'm grateful because it means I've got some more models to put in my regiments, but I didn't ask about the material, and I wonder if that's a change from their like what they're trying to do production wise, or they just had them sat around, so they just sent them to me. Because yeah, this the normal stuff's actually got a bit of flex to it, their actual stuff, whereas these are a bit brittle. They're a bit of different material. Thomas says another Gettysburg Irishman is of course Paddy O'Rourke, who saved Little Round Top at the cost of his own life. General Michael says Joshua Chamberlain could be a good miniature. I think the only thing I would say with Chamberlain is there's tons of them out there already. So yes, it would be cool to do your own one, but if it was me doing this, I think I would want to pick models that aren't already on the market. Because one, you're doing a bit of a service to the hobby by making the miniature, but 2, you're sort of guaranteeing more sales, for your business. If you were going to sell a Chamberlain, for example, or a Meade, or Robert E. Lee, I think you'd have to have something that really stood out from others to make it a bit more of a viable purchase for people. Which it's not impossible to do. I'm just sort of saying. I think going for those models that people don't have would help, certainly. But again, it is as well. If you're a company out just making these as a bit of a personal collection as well, then yeah, do whatever you want with it. I would like to see more dismounted commanders, if I'm honest. So a lot of these army commanders and whatnot are on horses. I think I'd like to see more people do them as a bit like vignettes. Do you know how like Perry's do the Napoleon and his staff? They're all around a table. I think it would be cool to do like Robert E. Lee with his staff and stuff like that. That would be a cool thing to do, rather than like so many people do like commanders mounted. It'd be cool to do them as a bit of a dismounted, maybe. But hey, who knows? General Michael said, then again, if we did a Chamberlain, I would have to paint the whole 20th Maine Regiment. Yeah, we fall in that trap, don't we? Watch Gettysburg, and then that's it. You're like, oh, I got to do 20th Maine. General Michael, I do need a George Meade miniature. I'm surprised I don't have one, but it would be a good miniature for me to make a command stand out of. Yeah, absolutely. He's been everywhere, hasn't he, George Meade? He's been everywhere. David says Hampton was a brigadier under Jeb Stuart at Gettysburg. There you go. I did Hampton take over like divisional command or maybe corps when Jeb Stuart dies. I know Fitz-Lee maybe had a division or so. I can't think of the late war. Talos, from personal experience, shipping and packaging is a great factor. I'm making my own boxes in order to exploit every loophole of the postal system and offer as low shipping as possible. Yeah, that's another thing. Like you can, by having the slightly the wrong box, you fall into another postage costing category, and then yeah, boom. Like if and maybe it's bad, but when I'm ordering stuff online, I definitely look at postage. And if someone wants to like, it's a bit like Perry's where they charge you £5 postage or something like that, and you're like, you know, if you're buying a little box and you pay £5 postage, kind of sucks. But then, and a bit like Flags of War, actually. I think Flags of War, they charge £3 postage. And in fact, oh, I've lost it. I've got a Flags of War order somewhere. Where's that gone? I'll have to find that. I had my Flags of War order come through. I ordered the Signal Corps flags. And again, that's a bit like it's frustrating to pay large postage. So you kind of want to, especially when like Flags of War is just a letter. Oh, I don't know where I put that letter now. That's annoying. It was here. I'll go mad if I'm looking for it, so I'll have to stop. There it is. Good. I think I paid like £3 for that to be posted. But it is a hard card thing, so it protects the flags. So it's just part of it. But yeah, if you can try get the cost, because yeah, if I'm looking online at stuff, I want to try to spend stuff with minimal postage. But then realistically, postage and packaging could cost £3 easily, you know. General Mike says, during the last few months of the war, I think he was a divisional commander in Johnson's army of North Carolina because they were short of men. I assume we're still talking about Wade Hampton and not anyone else. General Michael, a miniature that not a lot of people have produced is Jubal Early, who was a divisional commander. I haven't seen him on GR Market. Tim says yes, and hell yes. I want staff scenes with tables, maps, etc. Exactly. Everyone just does mounted generals all the time. Like let's have Longstreet like like the vignette of do a little vignette of Longstreet at Gettysburg when Pickett goes to I know I'm quoting the film at this point, but when Pickett gets his orders from him and Longstreet couldn't look at him and when he gave him the order, and off he went. You know, do a little vignette of that, like Longstreet leaning on a snake rail fence with his horse being held by like an aide, and then General Pickett chatting to him. Stuff like that, quite cool. I don't know, maybe, but yeah, it's rather than just General Lee on a horse, Grant on a horse. Just have a bit different, you know. I don't know. I'm thinking, and like uniforms as well. Like have some cooler. Sometimes like having everyone in overcoats or something, it covers up their cool uniforms. But anyway, maybe one day when I commission Talos Miniatures to do some of my own sculpts, when I save up my pennies and I put a commission through, then who knows? We'll look at it, shall we? Maybe as a community, the KingMATTSuperior community, we can commission a vignette. That'd be cool. Anyway, where are we? I got caught up in it. Yeah, Jeremy Michael says yes, that would be cool. Robert E. Lee at a table with Longstreet, and they're looking at a map with Lee's staff. Exactly, stuff like that. Copy and paste Perry Miniatures Napoleon staff one, and yeah, exactly. Whenever I ship out things I've painted, I use the old Perry boxes and the labels, and put yours on there. For the big orders, I use old cardboard box and slap a label on there. Things that can be expected. I remember I sold a long time ago. I sold some old Warhammer 40k terrain. I sold it for like 50 quid, and then I think I went to post it, and I had to pay like £30 to post it. It was crazy. Thomas says GMB's £3 or £4 when ordering one flag at $3.90 is mad, but I understand it. Yeah, it is. I understand it. It's annoying though. It is annoying. Tim says you guys in the UK are so spoiled. You don't know how good you have it. Try pay shipping to the States, then add tariffs. eBay and Etsy are too much now. Yeah, we are lucky. And I'm even considering going on holiday to Nottingham this year, just so I can go to Warlord Games HQ and not pay any postage. I mean, I'm driving there, so that's postage and stuff. But I'm also doing a holiday, so. David says, so go 6mm, much lower postage, problem solved. A lot heavy. Everything's in metal though, David. So then you end up having, I've got a box of Adler 6mm somewhere, and it's a weighty box. But yes, you are right. Smaller miniatures, smaller boxes. Yeah, I think I've said this. Talos says, I like the idea of vignettes. Cool. Thomas, I am Northern Ireland. I can't get aerosols, and certain manufacturers won't ship to Northern Ireland, or it is very expensive. Yeah, that sucks. Thomas says Talos should be taking notes and charge an extortionate amount for what we want, and we will still buy it. Talos says, I'm already taking notes, lol. There we go. Well, let's make it happen, perhaps. It's something I think I've said this on the channel before. Like, I've had an idea of looking at commissioning some sculpts and maybe selling them, like 3D sculpts, and selling them for a long time. And then with that, Ragged Rebs popped up on my feed, and then I got chatting to Matt at Rebellion Miniatures, and I was like, this is literally what I wanted to do, and they've kind of done the exact same thing, and it was really cool. And they're really nice. I was chatting to them a bit about it. They were giving me some tips and advice and stuff. So yeah, maybe one day. Right, let's start doing some miniatures, shall we? So. One marching arm. I think I'm going to do all the marching arms, but I think I'm going to have to use some Perrys, because I like the pose, and with the Ragged Ridge, again, I've done the video. You can kind of see it all, but with the Ragged Rebs arms, you get a couple of sort of like carrying the gun down with the side, couple on the shoulder, and then a couple just on the strap on the shoulder. So you get a nice selection, but if you want to do all 4 chaps in the same pose, you're stuck, because you don't have that option. And I've been told that the bayonets were wrong on the sculpts when they first released them. So I did it in my video, and I think someone pointed it out on my video, in fact, saying the bayonets are wrong. I didn't even notice it. I'm a fool. But when talking to Matt about it over at Rebellion, he says they've corrected it, so we can check that in a sec. Right, who are we? Oh good. I thought I left my glue downstairs for a second. General Michael, I was just looking on eBay and found the deal of a lifetime. This guy's selling a whole 2 divisions of Confederates with a division of Yankee cavalry and a whole artillery battery with 5 guns for $250 US. Is that good? I don't know enough about exchange rates, but also I'm not prepared to work out how many miniatures that actually is. But General Michael said I've already bought it. I'm addicted to the hobby. Bingo. I've not. I do look on eBay every now and then, and yeah, there's no. Although I'm not in a position to be spending much money at the moment, I've not seen any steals recently. The best I got one was when someone was selling Perry miniature box sets for like £10 each. They had a bunch of them, and at the time I think I just bought a couple, and I should have bought them all. Because back before when I was sort of growing the collection back in the day, yeah, I think I was just basically every now and then on eBay you'd get like a cheap Perry box pop up or something, so you just pick up one of them and then even more miniatures cheap. Right. So luckily, past Matt has done a very good job at labelling all these parts. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, probably not actually. No, you can't really. Anyway, we have. I could just do that, I guess. Although my light's on it. So we've got marching, right leg forward, marching, left leg forward, charging B, charging A. So I've labelled these. So I should know which arms go where. Back of ships in bags, often jiffy bags, except for really big army size orders. Oh, okay. No boxes needed then. Right, what do we have? We have a couple of left legs forward marching arms. So this is the combo with the Perry miniatures now, which is what these are about. We know that. Yeah, one day I got really bored and went through all my old sprues and pieced together this box of arms and stuff. So, and here we go. Now, and for a while I was like, well, why do I ever use them? Especially every time I buy a Perry box, it comes with more than enough. But then you have something like this happens where now I'm using and again, we've already done this, and I showed it off on the video. I did. I'll have to share the video in the live stream chat because that would make sense, wouldn't it? But so if you were curious to see how it looked in a better format, the video has it. Right. Forward. But yeah, going back to eBay, I've not found a steal for a while. The last lot I bought was sort of odds and sods, really. Thomas, last steal on eBay I picked up some Perry Napoleonic French painted as Italians and some Prussians. Bought it and sold it onto a mate at a profit. Bing bong. And then you get more money to spend on your preferred hobby stuff, mate. Nice. Tim says Rebellion guys come 3 right leg forward and 3 left leg forward. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. I would have liked probably to do these as charging poses because they're the 26th North Carolina. But I haven't. Purely because the ones I've already built up are marching poses, so. But maybe I should have. I don't know, really. Talent says Perry spare hands and heads was what generated my idea to sculpt compatible bodies for the War of the Roses plastics. Oh yes, of course. I remember now. We've had this conversation before. Yes, you've done quite the range already. Davey says constructing figures completely alien to a 6mm gamer. All that falling around. Yeah, I always used to really like it. If I'm honest, I used to like doing these building. It's used to what I enjoyed. And now we've got the new heads as well. That'd be cool to check out. So our 4 dudes. Faffing around, says David. All that faffing around on constructing minis. Yeah. Mate, you are spoilt that you don't have to. Fair play. But again, I do enjoy doing it. Tim says just use the Perry charging arms like I did. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was really thinking about it. But I do really like the marching poses. And then the 6 I've already built are doing marching poses. So I was like, oh, well, let's just keep up with that. And I've already built these guys. But if we pick up another set of Rebellion, maybe we'll look at doing it. For now, I'm going to stick with these guys. Right. What heads should we go with? I like the caps. I really do. Do a couple in there. I would do a whole regiment with them if I could, but I don't think I should. Do this one. Maybe a bear head. Thomas, new heads are lovely. We'll be using for some of my future spare Perrys. Yeah. Yeah, they are nice. Oh, this one's an old man. He's got a bald head. Nice. Give him a go. Yeah, I think with the heads, I think I'd like maybe just another strip of plain Kepi heads. And maybe with some more with just sort of normal facial hair, perhaps. So I think they've all got quite loud facial hair, which I think may be obviously look repetitive. Here we go. We got 4 almost done. This guy needs chopping down. I've not done it properly. Oh no. But yeah, apart from just sort of getting these off the sprue, as it were, there's minimal cleanup needed. I would say no cleanup needed, but there's a little bit. Or I say a little bit, it's just when you're cleaning that model, isn't it? Right, and then this guy's got a nice big beard. Awesome. There's 4 done already. A couple, one with a cappy, one with a bald head, and a couple with the 1839 forage hats or something, service hats, caps. Mexican War caps is what we'll call them. These things. Those couple of them, which is nice. So put them to one side. We'll get some. Missing a couple of bodies here. There we go. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be using up the Perry arms mainly for this. Let's right leg forward. I've seen on pictures online of them using the sort of skirmishing arms as well from Perry's, which work. Appear to work. I've got to clean up these Perry arms because I sort of took them off the sprue and then chucked them in a box. They might need a little bit. Hussars and Dragoons. 6 units of each being done now, says David. Very nice, mate. I need to get back on and do some of my Napoleonic stuff because I really enjoyed painting up the French Hussars. They were a really nice bright coloured unit to do. And I've got another one to do. And I started painting up some Lancers as well. They looked awesome. One with like the pink facings. I thought that was cool. A tip I got with assembling minis, because it does make a difference, I think, is if whichever leg's going forwards do the opposite arm. So if the left leg's going forward, have the left arm going backwards and then the right arm going forward. So it's almost like opposites. Because yeah, if you kind of, I guess if you're marching, you wouldn't have your right leg and right arm going at once, like the same way. You'd have opposites. And yeah, it makes it different. I think it looks better on the these sort of sculpts if you do that. It makes it look a bit more natural. Tom says another thing about the Ragged Rebs is that they can easily be used as early war bull run units for both Confederates and Union, as they are mostly all seemingly in shirts. Yeah, good point. I think the way they're sculpted, you can kind of get away with having them in painting them however you want, you know. Right, left, 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 right, right, left. Oh, that wasn't this. These darker grey ones aren't actually a set. They're 2 of the same sprue. Right, so there's right leg forwards there. I do need a drummer. Actually, thinking about it. I'm going to make him a drummer. So let's get rid of one of them. Thinking about what units I have available. Or what figures I have available. Obviously, I've got the officer sorted because I've got Colonel Bergman now. But I don't have a drummer. And Colonel Bergman's holding the flagpole as well. So I don't need a flag bearer. But I need a drummer. Right, we'll come back to him. And I only go for one drummer unless I'm scratching together sort of miniatures, you know. I know someone like the Perry Metals, the command stands, if you're going to use a command pack for one unit, they come with 2 drummers sometimes. And yeah, I've just had 2 drummers in the unit. Tim says, and the prevalence of wheel caps loans itself to early war. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Having the those sort of Mexican war caps definitely has an early war feel to it. All right. Get these glued on. I saw a man without shoes and thought of painting the 69th New York State Militia at Bull Run with no shoes and stripped down to their shirts. Well, I'm not a million miles away to having a first Bull Run scenario playable with some of the units I've got. It's just that I want the first Minnesota. Oh, that's an arm gone. Pinged it across the room because I glued myself. Yeah, I'd want the first Minnesota. But apart from that, I'm sort of close. You know, I've got Confederates, and then I've got quite a few of the Union regiments involved in like Henry, House Hill, and that. 79th New York, 14th Brooklyn. These bodies work extremely well with the Perrys. Even better than the Perrys do in certain respects. Some of the Perry bodies are really awkward to get the arms on because they've got like blanket rolls in the way. You almost have to file down the bodies because they don't. And that's out of the same set. Bingo. Let's sort these drummers out first. Or next, should I say. And how we're going to do this. I think we'll just have to risk. In fact, I've got the wrong body for this drummer. It needs to be. I think it needs to be your right leg Advancing. Oh, maybe not. Let's dry fit it and see what happens. What do I do? I'm going to have to glue this together. Almost half the cav have their chestnut horses base coated. Time for a smoke break. So you're making good work on that one, David. Making good work. I've done a bit of painting earlier in the week, sort of batch painting some fantasy miniatures. And that was a struggle. I used to do so much batch painting, and now it's a struggle these days. Cool. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should have them on this leg forward. Maybe not. Thomas says, beer break for me while I... Oh, hang on. I missed one. Yeah, beer break for me while I wait for the shoes to dry before I base the ragged rebs. And then they are ready for a picture for the Facebook group. And my hobby Instagram. Yes, please share them. Thomas, please share them. Tim says, I always have to use a drill to make the inside of the Perry heads bigger. Yeah, yeah. What, with the likes of the Zouaves and that? Is that what you mean? Because, yeah, a lot of the Perry's heads come sculpted on, but the Zouaves don't. Right. I'm worried that if I glue this on and it doesn't look right, it's... I mean, it's probably just a bit of green stuff needs to get involved. Oh, let's risk it. Let's risk it. If not this guy, which guy? You know? Not done a good enough job gluing that. Could have probably carved the drum a bit better. No, I think it's good. Well, it's just the same. I've got two of the same hands. Two of the same arms, should I say. Two right arms. Matt, I can't. David says, can't remember if you shown my series of construction on the 3x3 Games mailboard. I have, mate. Yeah, we checked out last stream. Impressive stuff, mate. You were on your train break from memory, so I think you might have missed it. You were in between train journeys, but yeah, we did. All 13 stages of construction picks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But when we have a look at the community stuff later, mate, we can go have a look back through it if you like. You wish to reminisce? We're more than happy to. Right, is this guy going to work for this drama? Yeah, sort of. I could have done the drum on a better angle, but He's marching, so it's going to be all over the place. Yeah, look at that. It works. Unless, of course, I stick my finger to the model. Then it won't work. Oh, look at that. But look, we have a drummer now using the Ragged Rebs. Is there anything these miniatures cannot do? They all need heads now, though. Yeah, that's the only thing. I wish. I know we've got some good heads here, actually. Some officers and stuff. Oh, are these the same? No. Oh, they are clever. So these officers' heads are the same, like heads, but they've just put hats on them. I thought I recognised that old man. He's got a bandage on his head now, though. I really like this head here, which is a guy with a bandage over his eye. I think that's cool. So we're going to have him. A couple of bear heads, because they're ragged, so they're allowed to have lack of hats. So that puts them there. And then let's have a look at those guys. David says, it's just been a bit chaotic. I was asked how I built the table after Joy 6. I reposted them. Yeah, we'll have another look, mate. We can have another look. Right. Bold guy. Oh, not bold guy, but guy with eye patch. I don't know if he would have been on the front lines in the... Because I guess you would very much need two eyes to... Oh, no, I guess maybe not. I'm going to say two eyes to confidently shoot a rifle. A rifle musket. It's going to be this guy. Oh, he looks great. He looks fantastic. So where's the other drum? I used the wrong drum. I have used the wrong drum, that's why. Ah, well. There is the other drum in the Perry kit. Which, yeah, oh well. It don't really matter. This one comes across a bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. Thomas says, well, Lieutenant Donovan of the 69th in New York famously had only one eye after he lost one at Malvern Hill. Did he fire a musket, though? That's my question on that. I get an officer could maybe do it. Oh. Glued this gun too close to the head, and now I can't fit the head on. Slight correction there. So you have to be angling his head slightly, unfortunately. Probably not, says Thomas about him shooting a rifle. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just thinking, as a rifle, you'd want 2 eyes, right? Depth perception. As a lieutenant, you just can have a sword, don't you? And a pistol. I guess you'd need a pistol, but. Food myself again. Oh. David says a lot of Confederates lost a lot of bits attacking the guns at Malvern Hills. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Are you implying that Malvern Hill is a great weight loss strategy? Guys, I've got to go for 2 seconds. I'm going to be back in a sec. I'm just going to get some fresh water. And I'll be back in a mo. Apologies. I'll be back in a sec. If this wants to work. No. Hello, I'm back. Sorry. Right. David said, I think Melvin Hill was an early sign of Lee's fatal flaw. He constantly attacked and won, but lost irreplaceable men. Yeah, attrition, I think, was Lee's downfall. Yeah, I can't think what I'm thinking of, but I'm pretty sure they were talking about a certain battle, how it was just how damaging it was. Just through the loss of troops. Reliable troops, you know. Right, let's build up a few more. We haven't got pipe smoking man in this one. There we go. Where I've built these guys, I've not done a very good job making sure the guns aren't in the way of the heads. That's good enough. Right, so we're on our last bunch now. Shut them down. So, oh yeah, did anyone win on the Rebellion Miniatures giveaway? I didn't recognise any names of yours, but done a cool giveaway, didn't they? Which was the Buford staff, Buford and his staff, and some rule sets, I think, which was cool. I'm just filing down all the rough bits on the bottom of the bases in case anyone was wondering. Because then it sits nice on the base. Mikey Blake, hello, welcome in. Good evening all, says Mikey Blake. Good evening to you. Hope you're well. Hope you've worked hard and played even harder. We are currently building up some ragged rebs. Ready for the 26th North Carolina to be enter the battle. David says, was pipe smoking man an ancestor of the X-Files cigarette smoking man? Well, certainly sounds like it's a family name. Could be right. I really like the sculpts of the pipe smoking chap on this, but I don't want like every other person having a pipe and smoking it and a big long beard. So I've got to spread them out. We already have one in the regiment, so don't know how many I can have. I'll probably squeeze another in there. Right, so right leg, left leg, left leg, right leg, left leg. They look brilliant. Yeah, they're coming together, aren't they? Thank you, Mikey Blake. Thomas says he did not win the thing, unfortunately. It is a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. Um, maybe next time. Who knows? Who knows? I'll remind me in case I've forgotten, but I'll show off Buford's staff when I get a sec because they are hidden away in some packaging. Right. That's that. That arm. That arm. Let's give him that arm. Him that arm. Then to the bits box. Right leg. Right leg guns there. I could give them one of them a skirmishing set. Actually, it's just a bit of something. Maybe. Don't forget that Virginia is tobacco country. Very true. These guys certainly have marched through there. I'm going to give him that arm. And a marching arm. So yeah, because we don't need a flag bearer and we don't need... Well, I say we don't need... We don't need a flag bearer because the colonel's carrying the flagpole and we've got a drummer, then the rest are all just sort of carrying guns, which is fine. Tom says I need to get started on my ACW skirmishes. Yeah, I haven't figured out how... Oh, no, I don't want to do that yet. I haven't figured out how I'm basing them yet. I don't know if I'm... In fact, I have, actually. That's a lie. I've started basing them where I'm just putting 3 on a base rather than the 4 for a unit, and then sort of then having them represent the skirmishers. But I know some people might... Because obviously my bases are 45mm by 45mm. I know some people out there will put them on sort of long, thin bases and have the skirmishers that way. Maybe I should do... I don't know. Yeah, my Iron Brigade skirmishers are on 3s, I think, on a base. Well, I base everything the same. Every mini on a single 20mm/1p round. Only difference is regiments use movement trays. Yeah, good, fair point. That's a good way of doing it. Now I'm multi-basing. I'm just trying to figure out how to designate or like specify different units. He's going to be good to paint up. I just know it. Just need to make sure I've got a flag ready to go for. But yeah, you Tim, it was you, I think, saying about them wearing shirts or looking like they're wearing shirts. Yeah, I do agree. A couple of them definitely look like it's been sculpted. Shirts. Soraya, hello, welcome in. How goes it? It goes well, Soraya. How are you? Sorry I missed your stream last night, but I went to see Toy Story 5. So I was doing that instead. But hello, welcome in. I hope you've had a good weekend. Do you like the caps? The Mexican war caps. So we've agreed we're having man smoking pipe head on there. That's fine. This guy, I'm going to file down his chops. I don't really want them, I don't think. Oh, do you know what? Let's just leave it alone. Alright, thanks. Preparing for another heat wave. Tell me about it. It's already getting hot, isn't it? We're already getting there. I don't know how I'm going to prepare this time. Well, it just means I can't go in my loft, unfortunately, when it gets hot. And I want to, so that's the pain in the ass thing with the heat wave. Oh, how was Oh, I've pinged her head off now. How was Toy Story 5? It was certainly a Toy Story. I'm not mad on Toy Story. It was mainly for my wife's birthday. Technically tomorrow, but yeah, it was for her, but no, it was enjoyable, I think. Thomas, beer mat and plenty of it is how I prepare for the heat wave. It's never a wiser word said than what you just said then. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it, I think. Just hope I survive it. Yeah, coming together nicely. I feel like it didn't really cool down, to be honest. For me, I certainly felt the heat when it was hot. I think at my work it was like 34 degrees in the workshop, so it was tough. So it was noticeably cooler. But yes, whether I don't know, I don't know what to prepare for. You know, it's going to be warm. 34 degrees by Friday, Matt. Just trying to see what heads we have available. Let's give this guy one of the bear heads. Awesome. That is it. The ragged rebs have been assembled. David says 7 horses left. About 5 of them are going to be chestnuts. Very nice. Well, I am 0 ragged rebs left. We are fully assembled. Let's put these in a bag. We have a couple too many at the moment because there's a couple of sneaky Perry miniature ones in there. Yeah. Let's show them off in a sec. So I didn't use the officer heads that come with this because I didn't decide to do a spare officer. Maybe I should have. Thomas says, I know over the small pond the heat was only gone for a day at most, as the other days were still really warm. Yeah, it's still been warm, but just not that hot, you know. Right, let me. You can kind of see them anyway, but here is our raggedy 26th North Carolina. Oh no! We're all out of some of Thomas's beer. Drummer at the front there, nice. Oh, do you know what? The more I think about it, I really like the caps, the heads with the wheel caps, as someone well put it in the chat. To the point now, I'm half tempted to just order some of those heads and like try convert some Perrys next time I'm building a Perry set. And then yeah, we've got this set here, which is stuff I've already built up. We got some here with a couple of the Perrys. And our kernel itself. Awesome. So the next step really is to get these guys chucked on bases. I'm just trying to count these a sec. So we have 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, 4 base, 5 base, 6 base. I've got 1 miniature too much, which is fine. One of them is going to be put on the back burner. And to be honest, maybe I look at actually chucking a couple of miniatures out purely because Colonel Berglund can sit in the front of one of the bases and take up two people's spaces because he's so cool looking. We'll see. There are people working in greenhouses. Imagine the heat in there. I don't want to imagine the heat. I don't want to. It would hurt my brain, I'm sure. Right, let's move these guys out of the way. Let's show off Buford and his team. His command. Next thing I do is get these put on some painting, mount them on some painting sticks. Then get them primed, get them painted. Don't know how long it will take to paint them, but we'll see. But we'll do them on stream. Awesome. So, Thomas says, there are people working in the sun all day, David, like me on the farm. Yeah, I don't envy that, Thomas. Don't envy that. Right, let's take a look at these guys. Have I even looked at these yet? I don't know. But here is the main... Oh, look at this. Is a different resin again, I think. So here is... I don't know who. This is like a real hard resin. Let's clean him up, actually, so he stands up now. I don't think this is the same resin that Colonel Berglund was in. Again, I didn't actually ask Rebellion Miniatures when they sent me these what the deal is with them. I don't know if it's the same company. I know these are conventionally sculpted. Like, these weren't digitally sculpted. If Talos is still about, yeah, I've seen the actual masters, is what I was getting at. I don't know if any of them are sculpted. Right, is that Buford? I don't know which one's Buford. It's got to be this guy. Buford had the facial hair, didn't they? So let's have a look. Yeah, this is a weird resin. Unless it was what Buford was. Colonel Berglund sculpted, I just don't remember it. Yeah, this is Buford, because you can very slightly... There's a very fine moustache on his face. There we go. Look at the details on him. That's got to be Buford. Unless, like I said, Talos is in fact here, and they'll tell me no, it's not. Oh, he's got a pipe in his pocket. Oh, that's very cool. Let me see if I can show you again. So his pocket there, that's a pipe sculpted. That is clever. I think I'm just going to chuck all of these on one base as the command vignette. We were talking about vignettes earlier. Well, Talos, you've more or less done that, because we can make a vignette out of it. Oh, you don't know these Talos? Whoops. These are sculpted by someone else then. I thought they were sculpted by you. Again, I didn't really check with Rebellion, so I don't know who sculpted them. I just assumed Talos, but yeah, these are the Buford commands. Got an officer. We got 3 officers and an NCO and a corporal and right, David, we might have to ban you for swearing in this chat. How dare you say Buford did not look exactly like Sam Elliott? Do you know, for someone like me who I really like the Gettysburg film, and then yeah, you go like realise that these guys actually didn't look anything like the actors, which is a real shame. I wish Sam... Yeah, I mean, Buford looks nothing like Sam Elliott, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I feel like if Buford did look like Sam Elliott, then I don't think First Corps would have collapsed on the first day. Just saying. Just saying. I'm not really sure what this resin reminds me of. Wall resin, maybe? Well, I did miss your comment, sorry, Thomas. You've bought some more Perry Cav, some horse holders, and some generals for my cavalry command. Very nice. Horse holders is something I've just not... Although I've not really gone into cavalry yet. I have and I haven't. I haven't actually shown it off on the channel, I don't think, but I painted up some cavalry ages ago. Dismounted cavalry, but... Right, here you go. Here's the vignette. So we've got 3 officers, and then just a couple of dismounted cav, which is cool. Yeah, they're nice. Again, we'll get these painted up at some point. Again, I'm going to chuck these all on one base, so we'll do them as a little single base. They look very cool. Very nice. Again, I'm not sure what resin's been used. I'll have to ask. Thomas says, I wonder if they have someone sculpted like Miles Koch, who was Buford's aide-de-camp at Gettysburg. Did I say Koch right? I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to find out what they look like, and then you might find one of these aides here could actually look similar to them. Talos, I think I know who sculpted them, but I can't say in case I'm wrong. Yeah, no worries. I'll have to find out, and if I can find out, I'll put a post up on the community page. Thomas, the background actor who played Miles Koch in Gettysburg is quite close to the match to the real's Miles Koch. Ooh. Very cool. Right, anyway, that is... See the bag there for... That's... KO. Oh, yeah, we've been here. You've already told me how to pronounce this name, and I forgot. So, Rebellion Miniatures built. Now we're gonna, like I said, we'll prime them up and get them painted on the next stream. Some cool Buford generals there. Buford and his staff. Let's quickly check out this, because this is actually rounding off last stream. Flags of war. Doesn't actually tell me that. Here we go. We got Van Dorn's battle flag. Remember him? We painted him a long time ago. And I don't know why, but I think that on the tabletop's going to look so cool. So, yeah. I'm really excited about that. It's kind of half the reason why I wanted to do Van Dorn when I did. And then the last one's Signal Corps. So we have, let me tell you, I've forgotten it now. So the normal signals was this flag here. And then one of the sets, I think maybe the black sets was used. I'm pretty sure they said for naval stuff. And then another one is like different colours. Like sometimes you could use the red and white. But the white with red is the main flag used for signals. So obviously I've got 2 signal groups. Now, I think this flag here was the more commonly used one. So I've only got 1 sheet, so I don't know what to do. I don't know whether I just give one a big flag and one a little flag. Or maybe one the big flag and one the normal flag. I don't know. We'll see. The little flags were used when they were trying not to attract so much attention from the other side, because they don't want them red. So we'll see. But maybe I just maybe for fun I just used 2 of these 2 colours. You know, it doesn't. It's my miniatures. You know, I guess I just do what I want. Anyway, that's the flags we've got. KO, didn't he die with Custer at Little Bighorn? That rings a bell, and I recently watched a documentary on Little Bighorn, so maybe. Right. Shall we do... Let's break out a sec, and we'll go on to check out the socials. So we're gonna move you there. Dum 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 dum. Done. David has finished chestnut horses. Very good. Nice one, David. Right. Is this going to do this thing where it plays it all out of... It is, isn't it? I don't want highlights. I just want normals. Discussion. Bum 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 bum. Alright, I kind of wanted to see that, but hey. Right, let's go back. What day was our last stream? It was on the 28th. Right, okay. I don't know why this is all out of order, but hey ho. Right. So let's, I don't know, we'll just go all the way back because it's all out of, I don't get why it's all out of whack. Anyway, right, so. Let's just start here, shall we? Thomas says KO did die at, or did die at Little Bighorn. He was the man who rode Comanche, the only US survivor of the battle. He was the man who rode Comanche, the only US survivor of the battle. Oh, was that a horse survived? Anyway, Thomas, Napoleonic British test model. I'm pretty sure we saw this last week, but I don't remember, so let's go with it. In fact, we did, because I was talking about how fiddly the white can be, and it's annoying. Ugh. Apologies for my yawning. Right, I'm pretty sure Dave posted this like 1 a.m. after the last live stream, so let's take a look. Maybe we didn't look at the live stream board then, David. I can't remember. Anyway, here it is. Oh no, we looked at these pictures. Oh, I don't remember. We definitely looked at these. And a bag and back home safely. Very cool though, David. I thumbed it up good. Here's some of these more ragged rebs and the stuff from Tim. Very nice. Oh yeah, you got your laser cutter, Tim. This was Thomas talking about his French army commands. This we spoke about this last time, but that was they had some American Civil War subbing in. This is Tim's laser cutter. Very cool. I wonder how much that was. If Tim's still in the chat, I'd be interested to know about it, because for someone who would be interested in doing sort of making my own tray bases and stuff. Very cool. Let's take a look. Cool. What does it mean? Very nice though. Very. What are you? I think you were going to be sticking. I'll be interested to see how you get on with those bases. These are our last stuff from our last stream. I actually managed to share the photos this time. I didn't forget. But yeah. Thomas says Comanche was his horse. The horse was wounded when KO was shot through the knee because he refused to dismount and shot his horse for cover. David said that was the show. I was asking about construction pics of the build. Yeah, we'll get to it, David. I found it there. Tim says I think I paid $189 for it. It looks real cool, mate. Real good. Here's some of my signal call. The Irish Legion commands. We've looked at this one. These are the ragged rebs. Look at them. We'll get there soon. They're looking cool though. Look, oh, that's your laser cut bases. Nice. Very good, Tim. Here's the show. Oh yeah, so we saw these ones. It's hard to know if we showed them last stream or not, David, because I remember looking at them. I just can't remember when I looked at them. So we'll look. We'll take a look. Oh yeah, this is Gouverneur Warren at Little Round Top. Signals included. I did share the artist's Facebook if you ever want to go check it out. They've done loads of cool photos. Paintings. Right. Here is some more of those ragged rebs again. Very nice. They have you swap positions. They swap positions. Tim, more ragged rebs. They're looking good. Charging poses, nice. Yeah, maybe I should have done charging poses. Some parries on their bases. Very nice. Very good. David said, same here. It's kind of a blur. Yeah, I've definitely looked at them, David. Don't worry. We'll get to them anyway. I've seen them. We'll get to them. We'll show them off. So it's a mighty impressive table, David. So we'll check it out. Tim says the magic of magnets. Oh yeah, of course you're doing magnet. Here we go. Look at these. I've got this regiment of. Oh, pardon me. They're all on in butternuts as well, which is nice. This is some Warlord games, firing bows. I should probably finish these guys next week with new army bases. They're my first experiment to see how packed in I could go on a base. They're on a 40 mil. You've done 40 mils. Yeah, damn. That is tight, isn't it? It makes sense, and it looks good on the table. I'm kind of just dealing with the decision I made of doing 45s, which it was wrong. My reasoning behind it was flawed. It's because at the time I had my miniatures on 50 mil bases, and I thought, well, rather than rebasing those old miniatures, I'll put these on 45s, and that'll get them close enough. They're more or less, yeah, they're like something around that. But now I've rebased my collection anyway. Maybe I should have just done 40s. So, lesson learned. Here it is, the Joy of 6. Yeah, 5 days ago. So yeah, we must not have seen it on the stream. That is. So, here's how it was built. These photos were posted along with some rambling commentary as the build process progressed, but searching around on Facebook posts is no one's idea of a good time. So it is. Here it is. Sketching it out. Very nice. Very nice. Tim says I've settled on 45s by 40 for a stand of 6 figures, but yeah. David says relaxing is wargaming purgatory. The thing is, Tim, I've got with my 45s is I'm doing 4 to a base, not 6. So 45s would work well for 6, but yeah, I've not done that. I don't know. It is what it is. Your sharp practice bases are 60s by 40, yeah. And is that 6 miniatures? Right. Let's keep going on this base. Look at that. All the flock in, all the little buildings, the trees, very cool. Back to the start. It's a great table, David. You've done a really good job there. And it's cool. It is cool seeing it come together. That's my ugly mug. We don't need to see that. And here's Tim doing some more. You're a little haphazard in my arms to body allocation, but at least one of these doesn't work for me. Rebasing, not relaxing. I hate autocorrect. Rebasing is wargaming purgatory. Yeah, I've sort of already done it with my collection, so I'd never do it again. But I've started so my French Napoleonics, I've put them on 40s, 40mm bases rather than 45s. And they do look nicer. I think they do look nicer, but it is what it is. Oh, you put 8 people on a 60 by 40, Tim. Fair enough. I mean, I guess the smaller the bases, the more you get on the table, in a way. Tim says, sharp practice, I use 60 for 40 on 8 figures. Yeah, nice. Movement trays are 70mm by 45mm. Gotta run. See you later. Talos, thank you so much for popping by. And thank you for your wonderful work with Rebellion Miniatures, their Infantry, because they are fantastic. And I'm going to enjoy painting them up. If you're around next weekend, feel free to pop in, and we'll you can see me painting them. But yeah, thanks for popping by, bud. Let's take a look at Tim here. He was saying about body to. Are you talking about how they sit on the base? As in, they're all a bit. Do you mean them being a bit too close to each other? Look at the pipe face, it's cool. They are nice sculpts, aren't they? Very nice work. Good work, Tim. Here we go, 6th Louisiana. So these are some Rebellion. Yeah, I see what you're saying about the shirts. The more I look at them, the more I can see some of them are clearly shirts. And yeah, they'll be fun to paint up as shirts. Rebellion Miniature Ragged Rebs used to make some men of the 6th Louisiana Infantry, called the 6th Irish Brigade Louisiana. While called an Irish regiment, the 6th had upwards of 25 different nationalities in its ranks, but was dominated by the Irish and Germans of New Orleans docks. Very cool. David said the idea of construction picks was twofold: to make sure I completed, and to show how easy it is to build a contour table. Yeah, you've done a great job, mate. Worked really well. especially out of wood, which is a bit more planning. Like I think with foam, you can sort of carve it as you go, whereas having the wood, you kind of it's a bit more permanent. The Ragged Reds from Thomas, very nice. It's gone for a white shirt there, cool. And a couple of red shirts. Nice. I think that's it, isn't it? Trying to see what Tim says. The guy with the kepi pointing left looks awkward because he's got one leg up. Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. Nice. Nice work, Thomas. That was good. Here's some more from Thomas. A French brigade base. I saw this earlier. So this is Junot's Corps at Fuentes de Enoro. Fuentes de Enoro. Command features an Irish Legion officer looking through a telescope to two majors in conversation. I didn't want to pronounce that name, Thomas. I'm sorry. Is it Tomiris? Anyway. Nice. Ah, look, you've done a little... It almost looks like a little road there with a road sign. Is that the plan? If so, that's spot on, mate. That's great. Vignettes. This is what we're talking about, people. Vignettes. They look great. Tell a story on a command base. That's what I say. Very nice, mate. My basing rationale is more figures per square inch of real estate. More figures. Yeah, 100%. Like, and I think I've done it with mine where I'm doing like 40mm bases for 4 infantry, and then compare it to 45mm over a 6 base regiment. 5mm by 6. That's like 30mm extra in that unit, but still the same amount of miniatures. So when you're trying to think of footprint on a table, it's better off on the smaller bases, because then effectively having more miniatures in a smaller area. Red shirts that they won't survive long. Sneaky Star Wars reference, exactly, David. I hope these guys do. Who knows? They might break the curse. Ooh, I didn't get my channel on. Let's see. Right, let me go to community and see what's been posted. Nothing apart from something from Michael. Let's check it out. I need to get on and do these, I'll tell you that. But now I've got the Ragged Rebs on the go instead. Just General Michael's painted up two Zouave companies. First two are from the 5th New York, and the last one is the Louisiana Tigers. Some Tigers. I went with blue jackets as well. I went with blue jackets when I did my Tigers with fezzes. I know quite a few people will go for the brown jackets and then sort of like the straw hats. Very nice. Are these Dixon miniatures? Michael, if you're about. They're obviously Perry's. Are these Dixon? Cool though, great. Alright. David says, how about 28 minis on a 60 by 30mm base? Now you're just showing off, David. Well, what a way to round it out. We've done everything and we're only a minute over. I've only kept you a minute longer than I needed to. Yeah, so wonderful stuff all on the community stuff. Again, try post when you can, put stuff on there. I'm trying to post stuff, but again, I'm not doing a massive amount of hobbying at the moment, so but yeah, just post up and then we check it out on the streams. It's always good fun. We've built up a regiment of ragged rebs ready to be painted. I'll get them primed in the week, and then we'll paint them next weekend. We'll start painting them next weekend. So yeah, I think I'm going to stream there. I think we've done everything. Massive thank you to everyone watching this live. We've had an absolute host of you. I don't know if I can keep up. Thomas, Tim, Mark, General Michael, Alex. Oh, yeah, I was going to say Alex popped in for a bit, but I didn't get to chat to him. Shame, but hopefully more next time. David, obviously, Talos. Thank you very much for popping by. Soraya. Hello. Mikey Blakey. Hello. I'm going to miss someone, I'm sure of it, but I've got to scroll. Basically, I'm having to scroll through the chat to see who was about. Let's just say all of you. So, thank you so much for all you guys watching it live. Also, massive thanks to everyone watching this back on YouTube as well. I appreciate it. I know there's a few regulars that watch it back, so massive thank you to all you as well. Tim, where is the Facebook community page? If you just search KingMATTtheSuperior, there should be 2 pages. So you've got the community page as well as my sort of KingMATTtheSuperior personal page. So yeah, on this community page here is where oh wait, yeah, this is the community page. Sorry, Tim. The actual other page, which is like the profile page, will be on, just search KingMATTtheSuperior. But yeah, you're posted in the community page, mate. This is the one. So yeah, thank you. And we fit in an X-Files and a Star Trek reference. Absolutely. Next time we'll fit in some more. So yeah, so massive thank you guys, as always. A massive thanks again to Rebellion Miniatures for sending me these. I've enjoyed building them up. I know I'm going to have a good time. I enjoyed painting Perry miniatures very much. These guys are them, but more. So I know I'm going to enjoy these. So yeah, I think that's it. Covering all the bases. I'll be back this time next week. I had to double check that, but yes, I will be. And yeah, well, in fact, I've got to put up the stream schedule. I've completely forgot about it. I thought about it earlier today, but I forgot. Anyway, good night, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a wonderful week going forward. I hope you UK folk will not be too hot, and I hope you American folk will not have sore heads after your 250th anniversary. And we'll see you next week. Good night.